Hello and welcome to episode number 53 of the TEW 2016 Challenge Run. We're booking SmackDown Live and 205 Live here today. And again, I just realised that I haven't booked this in Glasgow, which I wanted to. So before I fail the challenge, I might as well go and do that and put it in the Hydro Sonic venue. And we run the show. We actually sort of have a match this week. It's a 79B, which is a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Drew McIntyre defeating Matt Hardy with a Claymore kick. After the match, Finn Balor comes out and he says, "Look at you, Drew. You think you're all impressive. You come out here, you destroy Matt Hardy. You cheat to defeat me at Battleground. And all of a sudden we're supposed to think you're the hot prospect, Mr. Big Shot around here, when, look at you, you're big Drew McIntyre, the Adonis of a man. You can't even beat little old Finn Balor without cheating. So what do you say here?" And he'd be getting booed because it's in Glasgow. And he what do you say, your hometown fans? Rally, you won, and you accept this contest for a rematch at Crown Jewel. And McIntyre says, "You're on." And yeah, I guess it's on. Finn Balor and McIntyre rematch at Crown Jewel. Shayna Baszler versus Io Shirai, 78B. They both score 71s. Yeah, pretty good match. Following on from last week when Shayna choked Io out in the hallway to get to her opponent, Kairi Sane's head. And I'm sure next week, Shayna will be tasked with finding a partner to face the Sky Pirates. Big Show's in his office when in come the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Snake Busters. And Big Show says, "Look, I love you guys. You guys are a lot of fun. But in the interest of fairness, I said when I was going to be general manager that this wasn't going to be a situation where I stab the good guys in the back, and I stab the bad guys in the back as often as I did during my career. I'm going to be fair and imbalanced and just not take sides. And I'm sitting back here and I'm seeing a situation unfold that needs to be taken care of. Because you seem to have three tag teams, being AOP, The Bar, and the Lucha Generation, all vying for shots at your SmackDown Tag Team titles. And I think it's only fair that at Crown Jewel, we have ourselves a little fatal four-way tag team contest to decide the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. It will be the Snake Busters defending against The Bar, AOP, and the Lucha Generation. We get Crushing Love from last week, their tag team contest. They've been pitted up against the New Day, probably unfortunately for them. And they get beat when Big E pins Rusev with the Midnight Hour. So Rusev takes the loss here tonight, and after the match, Mike Kanellis grabs a mic and he says, No. I didn't leave after being held down on 205 Live for so long. I didn't leave there to come here to being a losing tag team. No, that's not how it works. Look, I thought this was going to be a great opportunity for me to come here and team with the great Bulgarian Boot Rusev, but now I see why you're sitting around not getting many opportunities. Because you're a loser. And then he'd throw the mic down on him and walk off. Just a random match. Alexa Bliss and Carmella. Bliss gets the win because she took the L at Battleground and she needs to sort of get her momentum back. We then get a video recapping the history of Asuka and Charlotte Flair, going all the way back to when Asuka won the Royal Rumble and chose to face Charlotte at WrestleMania. Charlotte ending her streak. Asuka getting her revenge in that triple threat TLC match. Charlotte beating Asuka didn't happen. Charlotte coming out and attacking Asuka at Fastlane to get into the WrestleMania Triple Threat match with Nikki Cross, and how it all comes to a head at Crown Jewel, confirmed when the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka, would do it out with the Queen one last time. Well, not last time, but one more time. Speaking of random squash matches, Jinder Mahal finally gets a win. He defeats No Way Jose with the sands of time on his long road to crowning himself into the Hall of Fame. Lio Rush, Bobby Lashley, and Apollo Crews come out. And Leo's like, so, the almighty Bobby Lashley and the Adonis Apollo Crews are in tag team action tonight against those two truck drivers, Luke Harper and Kevin Owens. You see, Luke Harper and Kevin Owens run around there like they're so great, but they'll never compare to the almighty Bobby Lashley. They'll never compare to this. And it's the glutes being shown off. So, Kevin Owens, so Luke Harper, you think you're so mighty and so tough? Come out here and face my men like real men. And then it would cut to Gorilla with Kevin Owens warming up right outside Gorilla, or outside the entrance ramp, when Luke Harper would run in. And we're like, hey buddy. And Luke Harper's like, hey. And Owens is like, come on then. We can't let these, you can hear, I've been waiting for you, you can hear these pieces of crap running their mouth in that ring. While I was back here waiting for you, but now you're here, we've got no time to waste. Let's go out there and kick some ass. So Luke Harper and Kevin Owens against Bobby Lashley and Apollo Crews is up next. It gets a 75B-, in which Lashley and Apollo defeat Kevin Owens and Luke Harper when Apollo gets the pinfall victory over Luke Harper. Not really much else. It gets a 75B-, no improvements. So another big win for Apollo Crews here tonight. Technically gets a win over Kevin Owens, but he pins Luke Harper, so it doesn't really matter. The main event in what has been a very match-heavy and very quick edition of SmackDown Live, Andrade and Ricochet scored the pinfall victory over Daniel Bryan and over Robert Roode when Ricochet pins the Continental Champion with a diving double knee drop, officially cementing his status as the number one contender, because not only did he win last week, he's now pinned Bobby Roode in the main event of SmackDown Live. And I think that would, even if Ricochet didn't earn the shot last week, that would certainly get him one. Show ends with a 85B+. We increase our popularity in 33 regions. We have 1 week of the UK tour left after this. That is 4 shows, Raw, SmackDown, and the 2 pay-per-views. But first and foremost, we've got 205 Live to get to. Now, with 205 Live here, I have had to change the brackets around because this show is in Glasgow and the Dogs Bollocks were originally supposed to be up against Isaiah Scott and Jordan Miles of NXT. But with these two Scots here, this is the de facto babyface team for the night. Whether you want it to be or not, because they've been dastardly heels, they're the de facto babyface team because they're Scottish and they'll cheer for the Scottish people. So I've changed the brackets around, and instead of this as Isaiah Scott and Jordan Miles. It is now Gulak and Daivari, the heels, who can wrestle as the heels the whole match. And then we've got a fun main event between two competitive babyface teams, the Lucha Dragons and Jordan Miles and Isaiah Scott. Anyway, it is Noam Dar and Kenny Williams who get the win and advance to the final of the Cruiserweight Tag Team Tournament in their hometown, or at least country. I don't think they're actually from Glasgow. I can't remember. But I don't think they're either from Glasgow. But they are Scottish. And Noam Dar gets the win for his team. We then get a point scoring match. Aiden English defeats Humberto Carrillo with a director's cut. And a 47, that's actually decent for their ratings that they're getting. Another ratings match. Evan Bourne, who is lower down the card than Eric Young, gets a 62 to Eric Young's 53. Goes to show you, like, I was about right with Eric Young. He's not great, he's pretty bad. And Evan Bourne is really good. And he defeats Eric Young with the corkscrew moonsault, getting him a point on the board. So the board is now done for the night. Here it is. Tozawa's still at top on 3. He's getting his match at Crown Jewel against Tyler Bate. Got Sin Cara and Gallagher on 2 points, who technically have lost, but because it was in tag team matches, that would count towards the not yet existent tag team scoreboard. And not this one. We've got Murphy, Evan Bourne, and Aiden English all on 1 point. We then get a backstage segment. Humberto Carrillo is looking down on his dumps after his defeat when Angel Garza shows up from NXT. He looks at Humberto Carrillo. He would have sunglasses on. He'll take the sunglasses off, look him up and down, laugh to himself, and then walk away. Interesting. Main event is a 54C-, in which the Lucha Dragons defeat Isaiah Scott and Jordan Miles when Sin Cara, because he's not Kalisto, gets the submission over Jordan Miles. So the first ever tag team championship match for cruiserweights will be the Lucha Dragons against the Dogs Bollocks, and that will take place at Crown Jewel. After the match, they get attacked by the Scottish people because Scottish people want to see their hometown boys again, and they can shout some things about haggis and bagpipes on the microphone as we end the show. Apparently there wasn't enough angles on this show. I don't really mind because it's 205 Live, and it won't lose us any pop. So that is the end of this show. See you next time for episode 54, the Go Home Raw for Insurrextion.